Hello and welcome to episode number 4 this is of my F1 2020 MyTeam career mode. Here we are with IY Racing for the Monaco Grand Prix this weekend, and I'm going to be honest, I really struggle with Monaco. I'm much more used to more traditional race circuits with plenty of runoff, plenty of exit curbs and that kind of thing, so it is going to be a struggle, but we'll see how we do. We're going to upgrade the personnel facilities here before we go into this one, and we're actually going to upgrade the analysis suite, and that's gonna boost our second driver's experience, and in turn that's going to help us generate some more resource points so we can purchase some upgrades. I would like to have every kind of facility up to spec 1 by the end of the season. I'm not sure if that's going to be feasible or not. We'll have to wait and see. But speaking of upgrades, I did actually have an upgrade come in earlier. We'll go into that in a second, but this is the kind of performance comparison. Williams right on top of us now, so we really need to pull his finger out and get some of these upgrades in. And it was the central under tray, which is a weight reduction upgrade, that came in as I loaded into back into the career mode. So we can do another chassis upgrade potentially, but I do want to get some more engine power. Having that Renault power unit, I think that's going to be kind of the focus of our development for the time being. And then once we've done the practice sessions and got some more resource points, we can look at upgrading the chassis then. But these are the standings, nothing's really changed there. Ferrari's still leading, Red Bull and Mercedes kind of battling for second place there. We'll see what Monaco has to bring for in the real life. Obviously,
our new parts have
a bit of a bogey circuit for Charles Leclerc, but we have an event here. We're right on the cusp of a significant step forward on component development. So we can either get a discount on this upgrade, but that'll actually lose 20% morale from the aerodynamic department. So I'd rather not do that, because we actually have I think we have an aero upgrade pending, so I'd rather not do that. But anyway, let's get into the race weekend then, and I'll see you in qualifying. Right, so here we are then going out for our second lap. This is trying to get a decent lap. Like I say, I really struggle around this circuit, and this car in its current state, it's still quite a new car. It just feels absolutely diabolical around here, I have to say. Like I say, I'm not very good at Monaco to begin with, but it's not good. The car doesn't help. But yeah, we can actually take quite a bit of curb on that first corner. I find the track limits really strange in this game. You have two options. You have standard or strict. Standard feel like ridiculously lenient, and strict feel like overly strict. So I wish there were just a kind of in-between setting there for the track limits. But it is what it is. We just get a massive amount of understeer there. So went full lock, went to turn in. And it just took an age for the kind of front end to grip up, as that's one of the Alpines that move out of his way. And we go over that curb there, and we actually get a bit of floor damage, which is we're going to have to watch out for in the race. I think you need to set your ride height quite high to kind of avoid that. So that's something I didn't really do in the setup that I should have thought about. And I do actually want to try and go for a second lap here, since we have the fuel and the time. But as you're about to see, that's not going to happen. So we'll see where we ended up. Obviously, it's not going to be in the top half by any means, and we are going to be out of Q1. But we did finish above the Williams and above his teammate, very close to the Aston Martins there. But it's going to be a P19 on the grid, so not ideal, but I think that's the best we could have extracted out that car today. So with that, let's go to the race.
A proper road race, and in the true meaning of the word. That's how Mr. Monaco, the late great Graham Hill, once described this iconic event. The cars we drive have come a long way in the intervening half-century, but still we race on those same public roads beside the Mediterranean. There's no victory more coveted than that of the Monaco Grand Prix. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars will climb around 40 metres up the hill, past the casino, and then descend towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of 19 corners, and don't expect to see much overtaking here today. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Russell, Carlos Sainz and Perez, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Norris and Yuki Tsunoda, Ocon, Ricciardo, Guan Yu Zhou and Magnussen, Mick Schumacher, Vettel, Lance Stroll and Evans, Albon, Bottas. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, Yuri Vips and Nicholas Latifi. Now it's almost time for lights out, so let's go down to the track.
So Charles Leclerc with pole position at his home race. Hopefully, unlike in real life, it's not going to be a bogey circuit for him. He has been absolutely dominating, 3 races and 3 wins. Now, strategy-wise, it is going to be a one-stop. It's pretty much the only strategy you can do around Monaco, but we're gonna switch it up. We're gonna start on the hards. Maybe after some of the medium tyres runners come in, we can use that kind of clean air and maybe jump a couple of people. We might as well try it. We've got nothing to lose, and yeah, let's go into the race then. As those 5 red lights appear, the engine notes rise, and it's lights out, and away we go for the Monaco Grand Prix. See if we can channel our inner Graham Hill, a bit of a hero of mine. We're not gonna be very heroic into T1 there. We actually lose out to Albon, I think that is. So yeah, not a great start for us. And someone else who didn't have a great start to this Grand Prix was Valtteri Bottas. He's taken a penalty at the kind of one place more than any, I'd say, where you need a good qualifying position. But he were right behind me, and you can see I just absolutely light those tyres up. No grip on the hards at the start. So that's not something I really thought about. But he goes into the back of Latifi there, and I think he actually picks up a bit of damage. Someone who had a better start though, this man Sergio Perez in the Red Bull, as he takes 1-2 cars, that is, the Ferrari and one of the Mercedes. I think that's George Russell there, as they go side by side. And look at the commitment from Checo right there. He's just right through the gap. He wasn't slowing down at all. So he gets up 2 positions. So fair play to Checo there. Balls of steel. And yeah, there's another driver doing well. Is Yuki Tsunoda. The Alpha Tower is actually both. I think they both got into Q3 there, or well, at least Gasly did. So the Alpha Tower, I think, must have brought some decent upgrades coming into this Grand Prix. But we go back on board with ourselves. I couldn't quite get in front of Albon there. I was looking for the move, but we're going to take a bit of inspiration from UK and kind of just pull in front of Lance Stroll, that is. So we managed to regain our starting position, and just look at the understeer from this car. It's absolutely diabolical around here. But we keep going. We're going to try as best. And like I say, not my strongest circuit, the car's pants, but you know, sometimes you just got to lick the stamp and send it. Now, hop over that curb once again, and I check for damage. I don't think we got any that time, but you got to be so careful with that curb. And yeah, I think, but that's the thing, as soon as you start driving carefully around here, you lose so much time. But it is Charles Leclerc who is leading the Grand Prix. He's got a good gap actually onto lap 2 from Max Verstappen, so if Verstappen don't pull his finger out, it's going to be another Leclerc domination, you'd say. As yeah, we come on to our lap 2 then, right behind Albon, looking to re-overtake him, and oh, we just kind of backed out of that. The gap closed very, very quickly on the inside there, so we lose out. Speaking of losing out, this is this man Bottas who, yeah, he has to come into the pits to repair that front wing damage that he gets. So yeah, not a good day for Valtteri, you'd say. But back on board with us then, around the hairpin, trying to get some kind of move done. We actually push Albon through that corner there. I think it's actually Vettel slowing him down a little bit. But we come on to the main straight, and I just don't have the same grip as Albon does on the medium, so it's going to be a bit of a struggle, I think, to keep up with him. But as long as he's kind of got Vettel and I think that's Schumacher ahead of him, as long as he's got those two drivers in front, we should be able to keep within range, you'd say. But this is Leclerc then onto lap 3, still leading, and he's actually got a 1 second gap now onto lap 4 from Verstappen, so Leclerc is pushing, but look at the gaps there at the top. All the cars separated by at least a second, and as we come on to our lap 3, we're actually nearly 2 seconds behind Albon. We've really dropped away, so we are really struggling in this Grand Prix, just as I thought I would be doing. And I'm really cautious of those kind of curbs. I didn't set the car up right. I don't think I set the ride height high enough, so I'm just being overly cautious, and it's costing us so much time. So yeah, we might have to start getting a little bit more aggressive as we come on to lap 5. This is we gain a couple of tenths on Albon, so and we've actually pulled a bit of a gap out from Stroll, so we're kind of in his own little world here. So I just want to keep pushing on, try and get back in touch with Albon. That's kind of the plan going forward. But yeah, like I say, I'm just not very committed at the minute. I don't have enough trust in the car there, as I think we have a bit of a lock up there in understeer. But once again, it's a couple more tenths out of Albon coming on to lap 7, so yeah, we're not doing too bad. We cut the curve quite a lot there, and like I say, these kind of standard track limits are quite lenient, I think, as this is a bit further on in the lap, and getting very close to the wall there. And I think we picked up a little bit of damage, I think, somewhere. The underbody or the bodywork damage, it looks to be in kind of just off that normal green, so I think we do have a little bit of damage. And as you can see, we've actually fallen behind a little bit, so you would say it is affecting his performance a little bit. There's a massive amount of understeer there, and we are struggling just more and more as the laps go down. It's only lap 8, so yeah, not looking good for us. So yeah, really not looking good for us at all in this Grand Prix. I am kind of dreading it a little bit, how this is going to turn out. But we do quite well through this section, but again, just so much more understeer. And yeah, we make a big mistake there, and even hold his teammate up of all things. So that's really not helped us out at all, and that's quite major damage we've got there on the front wing. So we're going to come into the pits. Actually, Stroll comes in as well. I think he must have picked up some damage. It said we had a collision with Stroll, so yeah, maybe he had front wing damage as well. But yeah, there we go. It's really kind of not going well for us at all, isn't this Grand Prix? And we kind of get out of the pits then in last place, but things just go from bad to worse as we come into the chicane here. We hop that curve again, and now we've definitely got some serious damage on the underbody, and you can see the car fishtailing, and yeah, I am not happy with this at all as we come into this chicane, and once again we go around, and that's again even more damage, and now we're getting lapped on lap 9. This has been a bit of a catastrophe as this Monaco Grand Prix for us, as we just try and wait for a bit of a gap in the traffic, and what we're actually going to do is just come in and retire the car. Unfortunately, it's been a very short and not very sweet Monaco Grand Prix for us, but we might as well save the engine, because we're not getting anywhere in this race.
The Red Bull team are ready and waiting to celebrate a thoroughly deserved win. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on track was: speed. I know it sounds like an awfully reductive statement, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they've secured here.
So no sign of Charles Leclerc, even though he was leading the race at his home Grand Prix, and has the circuit kind of come to bit him in the virtual world as well as the real world, because I don't see him up there on the podium, even though he was leading the race. So I will check the results after, but for us it's really one to forget, and it's going to be a very, very short episode is this one. So yeah, my apologies for that, but you know, I want to keep this series kind of authentic. I don't want to just keep restarting the race until I get a decent result. If we have to DNF, then it's going to happen like it would in real life. But someone else who DNFs is Charles Leclerc at his home Grand Prix, and that's going to throw a bit of a spanner in the works. A double points finish for AlphaTauri, so I think they've definitely brought some upgrades into Monaco, but we'll take a look, see how that affects the standings. Max Verstappen only 2 points behind Leclerc, despite Leclerc winning 3 races. So yeah, that's really thrown the spanner in the works. You can't sort of count out Hamilton either. I mean, it is still very early in this season. We're only a quarter of the way through now. But we're still the best pointless driver, I guess. And the best pointless team. So that is some kind of consolation. But look at the top 3 teams there, separated by 9 points. So it could be a bit of a juicy championship. But anyway, that's I guess that's it, guys, for this episode. A very short one, so my apologies, but like I say, I want this to be I don't want to fake anything, so if we DNF, then we DNF. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.